This world is full of unsolved...
to the left.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public.
Wait! We're not the general public.
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck into the nation, judging by your attire.
Are our clothes really so... what, Paimon?
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Toma. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House, a safe haven for the Yashiro Commission.
Well, that sounds more like it. Well, now that we're here, where's Toma? Paimon doesn't see him anywhere.
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Relax, no need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you... Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in
Now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
All right, I've had my fun.
Hey, you're this close to getting an up.
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so long. So I came up with this little fun greeting for when... But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Miss Kamisato, and whether...
Don't think...
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies. Let me just say this. You've often found yourself skirting... Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same. But, so you've heard of his story. His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the But before that, there is one other place I was hoping...
Oh? Where?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now, but...
Let's go. This area sure feels gloomy. People Huh? Or Paimon's
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt Decree are put into this statue?
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt Decree. Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of freedom, and Liyue is the city of contract. As for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful ruler and its deity. The Eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to rule over Inazuma. As such, She relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs, and the Sakoku Decree to limit the people's movement. The Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time to flow from one end to the other without disturbing it, for all time.
Seems like every god has their own will.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. As for the reason behind the recent vision hunt, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change, and that her eternity doesn't allow for such instability to exist. Whatever the case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions, and this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you...
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so directly. And yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt Decree is something that simply should not exist. And Miss Kamisato has been committed to fighting it since the day it was announced.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is elsewhere.
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then what?
Aspirations? That would seem... Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision represents their ambition. So if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined. All right, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
Finally! Let's go! I'm flying! kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma...
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guests. Miss Kami...
Is this the Shirazage Himigimi? Oh, behind the screen?
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an
Makes sense. She's a super important person.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, especially following such a long and wearisome journey over this. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. And at present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds. A commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation without also remaining indifferent to our own fate. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can... Oh...
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will take us nowhere.
No, please! Wait! Please, don't go... I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must...
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a...
Correct. Please do all you can to help them.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Why are you doing this?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had... The children are desperate for you to take them out to play.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and see.
You must also be here to try and convince Tejima has protected this place ever since he arrived, keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving... But now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. We will gladly apologize if that's the case. Whoa.
If you want my opinion, it's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. He went off on a walk. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do.
Seems like he's a well-respected guy around here. You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay. True, but that's not what... And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time? I don't have answers to those questions, because I can't remember anymore. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose... But if you can't remember anything... Oh! Maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then...
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit.
I keep a diary? If you say so.
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you...
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving...
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary.
This looks like Tejima's done. Let's see what we have here. Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? Wait! I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The omamori you gave me has faded a little, but now that's the kind of info we're looking for. Time to pay a visit to the shrine. So this is the omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at the color and the design, but anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance some of his elemental energy... The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around for 30 years. It looks like a letter. The paper's gone yellow. Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again? So the reason Tejima came here was... But he's been here for 30 years! Well, let's go give Tejima his
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. But still, it's clear that I was waiting for someone here. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were fighting. And just look at all the things that did happen. How could I have forgotten something certain to me? Love, regret, everything I felt for her. It's all disappeared. No. After all, I've forgotten who she was. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these years have been nothing but... I think... maybe not. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find... When I think about it like that, how curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who she is? Thank you. I shall remain here.
Tejima seems to be dealing okay, but seems it's just like Ayaka and Toma were saying. If you lose your vision, that certainly explains the state Tejima. At least we were able to help him. Well, according to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission. Let's go. I'm here. They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining... But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation.
How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed by greedy samurai.
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Oh, huh? And who are you?
What? We just happened to be... We heard the commotion and came to see what the matter was.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right... This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself. I just know it. We'll starve out them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man, but he's shown his true colors. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the nation.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But why would she ever want us to help someone like... Maybe we should talk to Kurosawa and see what he...
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding, my own family can barely get by as it is. No, that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. and they said I was...
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the vision hunt.
To be perfectly honest, I don't... All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. And it's not just that. I have the...
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provision?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders. Which is why I came here in the first place. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself. If there were any emergency provisions to be had.
Huh. He seems to be telling the truth. But we better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders and see what they have to say. We should be able to follow their tracks. They couldn't have gone too far. I'm here.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot. I mean, besides...
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic journey of pillage and plunder. You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after. Let's teach them a lesson.
Another test subject.
Stand clear. Animo test 6308.
Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you. Kurosawa. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck.
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed food?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box, hopefully with value. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got... But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box...
You've got a deal. Now show us...
Huh?
What the...
There's nothing in here but...
Yeah, a lot of... And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store. A Miss Aoi. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the As for you guys, you're free to go. Just...
Yes, of course. So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs. Does that mean we broke even?
Shut it.
Phew. Let's go.
Okay.
How can I improve my colors?
I'll find the treasure for sure.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything, or perhaps there's... Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay...
Whoa, whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost.
So that's how he was getting those emergency... But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the prices increased, couldn't he just...
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to... Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Wow. Kurosawa was... And no one ever appreciated what he did.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cared. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, if you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself? I see. That reminds me, most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very valuable I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was in hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answer. Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly...
But we did...
Information is also a kind of commodity. Don't worry. I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicit.
At least we now know where the emergency provisions were coming from. Plus, let's go talk to Kurosawa again and see if he can remember anything.
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders? Everything
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told, why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? But I could not deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow... This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. What did he say? It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So all I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. and said to me,
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some word. Can you recognize the words?
virtue? Somehow those two words seem to explain taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been, but what use are virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in... The Tenryo Commission seized my vision, and the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to... And the irony of all of it is, I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad.
Yet another trouble. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. The Yashiro Commission... In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah, seems like losing all ambition. Fortunately for us, you don't have a... Let's go find the next poor soul. That stretch feels good. The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master. Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll...
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Don't make me draw my... or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong. We just came here to...
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way. But then we got here. Overheard you talking about how he got possessed or...
From the way you're dressed, it does... Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the... I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will... Sensei's name is Domon, a name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many... He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He says the strangest things over and over. And Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think... But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? Not that we'd have any means of involving... So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be... The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome to come and watch.
So, losing your vision can cause...
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive just now, when Nanako was attending to him. She heard him whispering a few when she asked him who the people were. He suddenly looked panic-stricken. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with blood. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew. One of them was Anzai. He fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. The ritual has now begun. All we can do... Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water.
Huh? Who's that sneaking around? Uh-oh. We won't let them get away with it. Come on, let's go after them. Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta be him!
How? Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move even quicker unless... I guess it's been a few years.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the question. And what are you doing sneaking around these parts?
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day. Long before... I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am...
His senior?
Anzai. Yes, that's me. Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same swordmaster. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable practitioners of Make-Yoshi Sui art. Seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation, but Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best swordmaster, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind. I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift progress in his training and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter...
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you...
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Make-Yoshi Sui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations for me. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down though, I still respected his mastery of the blade. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he? I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. Okay, you've heard my story. You should get back now. The exorcism is probably finished.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us.
What? You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible?
Nanako, please.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit, but spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yai is taking—
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then Sensei will be—
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei. But
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask—
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish Domon a
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yai's
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has directed— Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui Art—
Sure! After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about—